One very nice feature of the community of OutGrid, so the neuroscience community, or in particular the neurodegenerative diseases community, is that it has started sharing its data at an early stage. So the scientists have not been keeping the data they collect to themselves, and the large data sets that have been developed, like ADNI, the ADNI data set, have been opened up to every researcher that wants to use them. This sets a trend. It's a paradigm shift. It is not only this community, of course, but this has been one of the leading communities, and it's something that we are really very favorable to, this open access to data, to do it in all research areas. This will accelerate research by having data shared by all scientists. This will cut down on the cost of research, because you will not going to be needing to collect and recollect again data that have already been collected. And this is more fair to the taxpayer, because once data is collected with public money, it should be the right of everyone to have access and be able to use this data. So this is one of the reasons that this is this community has been very important in setting the pace for future developments in this area. For two reasons. Firstly, they are projects tackling in the socially very important area. Alzheimer's disease is hitting a significant number of people today, and the social cost of this is enormous. But even more for the future, this cost and the number of people that suffer is exploding. And it's exploding not only in the developed world, like in Europe or in the United States, but even more so in the developing world. So time to take action to curtail the disease is now, to take action really now, because the curve of how many people will be suffering from that is exponentially growing between now and the 2050. The second reason why action has been taken in this area, in particular from our program, for a program like ours, in other words, the program on the e-infrastructures, the ICT-based infrastructures for research, is that this is a research area that relies enormously on computational and data-driven research methods. So what you do is that you analyze brain scans, you analyze lots of data that, or terabytes of data of hundreds of patients, in order to be able to identify markers or generally the way things that will help you to see how you can diagnose the disease at an early stage. So it's a very good model case for other areas of research as well that are also increasingly data intensive and computation driven. There were many important points. One point that I think is very critical for the near future was about bringing e-infrastructures and infrastructure-based services closer to the needs of the everyday researcher. This is a point that was strongly made by several of the speakers. We need to make the services not only good for the few initiated, but really for all researchers, and have them delivered in a way that's robust, friendly, easy to use, the way that other infrastructures and other services are used every day in our everyday life in society. I think this was a particularly important point, and we have still to go some way in achieving this. The issues then of interoperability of the data that are being collected, which is a very important issue, because it is really a pity to collect data, in this case on brain scans, on the one hand in Europe, and then in parallel in the US, and then in Canada, and so on in other places in the world, and this data not being able to be used from continent to continent, because they have not been collected on the base of the same formats, standards, and so on. Interoperability is particularly important. And then also the global reach of the e-infrastructures that are the tools used to access and analyze this data is also particularly important. All scientists need to have at their fingertips the computing and data analysis algorithms and resources that they need to be able to do their work more efficiently and with more creativity.